It's all change here on Swap Over Saturday in Normandy on day 7 of the Alltech FEI World Equestrian Games. Some 200 dressage horses are leaving the stables here in Caen to make room for the show jumpers that start arriving later today from the unprecedented 74 different nations that are bidding for the jumping medals over the next 7 days. Yesterday, we saw the golden girl of dressage, Charlotte Dujardin, add yet another medal to her extraordinary collection. The event in cross-country has just got underway at Harin-de-Pin, and tonight we had the electrifying individual reining final that will definitely raise the roof of the exhibition centre. To give us a feel what that will be like, we are joined on Chez this morning by two team reining competitors, Francesca and Jessica Sternberg. Ladies, thank you very much indeed, first of all, for brightening up our studio this morning. How have the last few days been? How's the show been for you? Not just about the horses and the competitors, but the whole operation.
Well, WEG is always a roller coaster. You have ups, you have downs. It's a fabulous venue that we're competing in here. Our horses have been very good. I think we've been very happy with them. Yeah. And it's great to be in amongst the very best in the reining world doing what we do. Well,
everyone has been admiring your gear that you've been riding in, which you very kindly have put on for us this morning. I must ask you about that. Tell us, I mean, you definitely, we've been down and watching the reining because we all love it so much, and you stand out, what you're wearing, it's just awesome. Tell us how they came about.
Well, April Salisbury, she's been a friend of our family for a long time, and she's a horse show jacket designer in America. And she just does fabulous outfits out there. We've seen several of her outfits, and she said to Francesca last WEG that she thought we needed a bit more of a glamorous touch. So for this WEG, she designed the outfits for us. So yeah, we're just really lucky to be able to wear them. They're absolutely beautiful.
She's actually designed for one or two other people, hasn't she?
Yes, April in earlier career was very helpful to a young Michael Jackson. And she has a very innovative and incredible imagination. And when she said to me, Francesca, I think you need to be a little bit more glamorous, and I thought, jolly good luck with that. I should have known that she would manage it. And she took, as you can see, she took the whole British theme and just took it to a whole nother level. And I think we've made a few of the other girls at the competition rather jealous, and I think probably a few of the boys.
I said that this evening would be electrifying, and the gear like that actually very much fits your sport, doesn't it, Jessica? Because I don't think there's any other equestrian sport that I'm aware of where the crowd get right behind you. First of all, they're allowed to shout and scream as much as they, because it fits the thing, but it is an extraordinary atmosphere, isn't it?
Yeah, it's really fun. I think it really gets the riders excited, and they want to please the crowd, and yeah, it's just great. Everyone just shows their appreciation for all the different manoeuvres, and if you do something well, they let everyone know that you have, and yeah, it's a really fun environment and atmosphere to be a part of.
I suppose we ought to just let our kind viewers know about your relationship. You're both with the second name of Sternberg, but of course people might be making the presumption that you're mother and daughter, but of course you're not, are you?
No, we're auntie and niece. Yeah.
And your mum Roseanne, of course, has been also very instrumental in the whole reining movement in Europe.
My mum rode at a couple of WEGs ago. She also rode internationally, but she's mainly involved in the breeding of the horses. So she actually bred like quite a few of the horses that I've done international events on. And yeah, she's a big name in the breeding industry.
And the horse that's back in the finals, Sebulka Little, is by her stallion.
Brilliant.
So we've gone across both rider and horse by family. So it's been a fantastic thing for Roseanne to see one of her sire's sons out there flying the flag.
And are most of your stable of horses, are they bred by yourselves?
Pretty much, yes.
That's fabulous.
Yeah.
And I'm presuming that, I know that you as a family have been involved now for several years. I presume there's also horses you bred around Europe as well, are there? Yeah.
There are several horses competing here at the WEG that are bred by us. So that's exciting to see that spreading out worldwide. In fact, one of the horses that came in from Canada, so not just from within Europe, there are quite a few European horses too. So yes, it's a great achievement on Roseanne's behalf, and of course she's here at the stables pushing us all on and saying get on with it, and it's great. It's very nice to have a family involvement. It makes you feel more comfortable too.
The sport of reining is not a sport that globally we get the opportunity to see very often. And that may well be the reason that it's a sellout. I went to see if there were tickets available to get into Reining for my sister to come and watch their children, and you can't get tickets. It's an absolute sellout in there. From your point of view, do you see it as is it still a fast-growing sport, Francesca? Or are people? There seems to be more and more of you, basically, which is fantastic news.
Well, it's billed as the fastest-growing equestrian sport that there is. The reining event here is up by 30% from what it was in Kentucky, which, if you consider that's America's the epicenter of reining, it's up by another 30%. The finals are still the same size, so it's made it 30% more difficult to make it into the individual finals. But it's huge. It's no longer a niche sport. I think it's everywhere. There are a huge number of nations participating. And it's something, like Jessica said, you don't have to be a horse person to enjoy it. You can come along and watch, put on your jeans, come and hoop and holler. If you see something you like, it's fairly obvious. If it's it's something good, if it's fast and dynamic, you can cheer because it'll mean it's going well. And I think it's something that encompasses the whole family. Like you said, you want to bring your family, you want to bring your children. It's a really fun thing to watch.
And I think, Francesca, we ought to say that whilst you have got to the top of the game in terms of reining, historically that wasn't your sport, because you've competed at a decent level at other equestrian sports. Come on, tell us what you were up doing before you went into reining.
Oh, it's a lifetime ago now, but back in the day, Pony Club, I show jumped with William Funnell. I've been around with William Fox-Pit eventing, and but that's a long, long time ago. But it shows that any English rider should not be worried about switching onto a reining horse. I showed a lot of horses side saddle. I've done the full gamut of show hunters, you name it. But when I stepped onto a reining horse for the first time, I thought, I think I've found my niche, because they're an adrenaline fix like the eventers, but they've got the precision of the dressage. You get to wear the beautiful outfits like the side saddle. I mean, what more could you want in all one thing? I mean, it's perfect. So any English riders out there, you should seriously consider it. I am living proof that it is worth switching. Indeed,
not just English riders anywhere in the world, because it's very much a global sport. Jessica, from your point of view as a child, and you're one of the youngest competitors at the World Equestrian Games, I guess it was a no-brainer. It was never going to be anything else for you, was it?
Well, funny you should say that. I didn't actually even like riding until I was about 16, because I think I was always a bit scared of horses, and everyone was like, oh, it's such a waste because your family is all involved in it. But then obviously once I got hooked, I was hooked, and I hope I can keep competing as well. Obviously it's a bit harder because I've got to get a job and kind of do that side of things now, but I hope I can always be involved in it because it is really fun, and with the family being involved, it makes it really enjoyable for me. I know.
It's rather irritating actually, because occupations, jobs, they get in the way, don't they? Because you've just left university, haven't you?
Yeah, I just graduated. Well, yeah, I've still doing my thesis, but yeah, I graduated this year from.
And what do you hope to do?
I hope to be involved in marketing and branding and that side of things. Yeah.
And I've heard actually on the marketing side, you've been largely responsible for a lot of the marketing that's been behind.
Yeah, I've tried to build up the social media presence for the reining team for this WEG, because it's nice for people at home to be able to follow along with all our updates and photos and see what's going on, and hopefully raise the profile a bit in England, because although it's a fast-growing sport, I think we still need it to grow in England quite a lot, because it's not very well known there yet.
On that point, the fact that it isn't very well known, of course, when you started, Francesca, it was a lot less known. Did all these people that you were kicking around with show jumping and doing what I might call the more traditional European disciplines, did they think you were barking mad?
I do remember having a conversation, I think it was at the Aachen WEG, and one of the Williams, I can't remember which one it was, said to me, so you're still wearing that big hat then? And I said, well actually, so you're still wearing that small hat then? But I think they've been, over the WEGs I've been to, the British team members from right across the board are incredibly supportive. We had a huge contingent of the dressage riders that came to watch us in the go-around and cheered for us. And we went and watched the dressage. I think if you're a horse person, you appreciate a good horse and a good rider, and it's lovely that we can have that camaraderie across the disciplines. I do really enjoy that.
Now, I want to ask you one question about the actual patterns that you do. The watching the thing that I think surprises me, and I follow most equestrian sports, when you come into do you call it an arena? Mm-hmm. Yeah, when you come into the arena, you're terribly calm and slow. We're sitting there, and you sort of, if you didn't know the sport and hadn't watched it, you might expect the doors to open and you come belting in like a bull, you know, but it doesn't happen like that. You're terribly, terribly calm. I presume that's all part of the build-up, is it? Jessica?
Yeah, well, part of reining is the horse is supposed to be dictated to completely, and I think if you walk in nice and calm, it shows that the horse is waiting for you, and it's not just running off of its own accord. And
are you judged on that bit then?
yeah, definitely. You're
I
judged
didn't
on
realise
the overall kind of.
So you're
picture,
judged
yes.
from the moment you enter the arena?
Yes, yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, although tonight they've got a run-in pattern, so people will be bolting into the arena.
Having said all that, I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah.
And the pattern tonight is very different to the other pattern, is it?
Yeah, it's a very exciting pattern tonight. I think they run in and do a sliding stop as their first manoeuvre. So.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's adrenaline from the very start tonight.
What pattern number's that?
Is it 10
It's
tonight?
number 10 tonight,
Yeah.
so it's up the centre line at a gallop.
Oh,
Yeah.
from the word go.
Yeah.
They will come in through the gate at a gallop.
Okay. So what can we expect tonight? Was it the top? Was it the
Top 20.
20
riders.
Obviously, most of the, if not all the big names that are here that got through.
Yes.
It's going to be, you know, it's not is it a sure thing? You know, is Florida going to win again, or?
There's no such thing as a sure thing in horse sport.
No, you're absolutely right there.
But they have 6 Americans back to the finals, the 4 team members and 2 individuals. The 4 team members, between them alone, they've won over $11 million. I mean, they are the absolute top of the game of our sport. But we've also got some other $1 million riders in there, some Bernard Fonck from Belgium,
Yeah.
Rudi Kronsteiner from Austria. They're going to go down dying. They're not going to let the Americans come to Europe and just stamp all over them.
No.
So I think, and Anne Fonck is a force to be reckoned with. I take my girly hat off to her. So I think it's going to be a nail-biting competition. I think it's going to be fantastic to watch. And like you said, it's a full house.
It will be a full house, and we'll all be down there as well, I can assure you, enjoying it. Well, thank you both very much indeed for coming over to the studio this morning.
Thank you
and
for
for also
having
coming
us.
dressed like that. You do look absolutely outstanding.
Thank you.
And Jessica, I wish you, I hope you find a job, first of all, very
Thank
quickly,
you.
and I hope you manage to persuade your aunt and your mother to keep the horses going for you whilst you're earning your money doing something
Thank
else.
you. I'm sure they will.
I'm sure they will too. Francesca, very nice to see you again.
Nice
Thank
to
you
see you
very
too.
much
Thank you
indeed.
for asking us in.
It's a pleasure, thank you. Well, that was fantastic. And yesterday we saw the dressage music, and Sienna was over there at the arena.
I'm here at the Chez, which is the freestyle dressage to music, my favourite part of the dressage, and I think it's the crowds too. Look at the stadium, it's absolutely packed. The atmosphere is electric, and this is truly exciting. Lady down there is filming on her mobile phone, but why wouldn't you? She's just finished her test. The crowd seemed pleased with it, and so does she. It looked fantastic. Has she made Sweden proud?
Yeah, we're really proud.
This is the red carpet of the VIP area. There are loads of people in boxes up the top. Let's go take a look. Oh, I love the sofa. Ooh, very comfortable. Oh, and then I've got my widescreen here. Tea, coffee. I think I'd be quite at home in here. And check out that view. I'm in complete awe. Here I have Olympic champion Charlotte Desjardins on Vallegro, just about to go in for her test.
We had a great ride. We finished on 82%, so
That's really impressive. And the atmosphere, that must have made you feel ecstatic.
it's awesome in there. It's pretty full, and the crowd loves it. The crowd appreciates the sport, which always feels nice.
Vallegro is in now. Hopefully he does a test of a lifetime. Cars there, team trainers, team managers, standing there in suspense, keeping their fingers crossed for a fantastic test. that?
Yeah, we're really, really happy with that. That's like faultless, mistake-free. You know, it's the end of a week. He's a little bit tired, but he's really, really performed amazing. And I think she rode so maturely. I'm over the moon with that because, you know, it's always, you want to finish on a perfect note. And he's a perfect horse with a great rider, and they're such a good combination. And, you know, people love it. The music's so emotional.
Pedro, yes. You are in another fabulous outfit. You never disappoint.
Well, I mean, if you're not very smart, you have to be good looking.
And you're both.
Thank you.
Charlotte Desjardins and Vallegro have now become world champions.
Well, another fun day for Sienna, and in that clip we saw the world-famous ringmaster at equestrian events, Pedro, and I'm very pleased to say that Pedro has joined us in the studio at Chez today. Pedro, good morning, and thank you very much indeed for taking time out to come and talk to us. First of all, it's a very important role you've got. How are things going so far here in the stadium?
Very good, Philip. Thank you very much for inviting me. It's a pleasure. Things are great here. We had some exciting dressage with some beautiful horses, combinations, riders. Of course, the tensions were very high. Yeah. You know, the higher, the better you get, and the higher you are. It was very exciting for sure for everybody.
Now, Pedro, the FEI TV travel the world going to shows, and very often you are there as ringmaster. But I've never actually heard anyone ask you how it all started. How did you get to be in this amazing position?
That's a really good question. I used to ride a bit horses in Europe, and I was in Germany, but just for fun. And then in 1977, I was traveling around the world, and I came to Canada. I saw Spruce Meadows. I fell in love with Spruce Meadows, and I started working in different capacities. First of all, I worked my way down from the top. I did manure, cleaning the stables. It was fantastic. Then I did some interpreting when different teams came, some Europeans, some Mexicans. I did announcing, I did course building for many years. And then I was working full-time, bringing Equestrian from Germany to Canada. In '85, I stopped working there, went to a different business, but the Southern family asked me to still be involved. And they said, we could use somebody with your character and connections and the good feeling for the riders and the grooms and the owners and the media to be at our in-gate, because that's an area that's very sensitive. We want to be sure we give the best service to the riders.
You mentioned about some interpreting. What languages do you speak?
English handicapped, but I work now in 7 languages. That doesn't mean I'm fluent. As you can
in how many languages?
In 7 languages.
Wow.
I work.
What are they?
Well, I work in English, I work in Spanish, I work in German, I work in Dutch, I work in French, I work in Portuguese and Italian. And when I get time, I'm going to learn one more. I'm not sure which one yet.
And that, of course, is a huge benefit to doing, because the sport of jumping or any other equestrian sport is now, I mean, I think there are 74 nations taking part here in Chez. 20 more nations that have ever taken part in an international competition. You must have seen the sport grow tremendously over the last few years.
I've seen it grow tremendously from the beginning. When I started first in '77, up to now, it is incredible how much popularity it has. And I remember I did a survey back in '99 asking riders, what can we do better for you? And one of the questions, which I didn't quite understand, was, are you using the computer online? Are you watching online? I said, who would ever watch anything online? That was in '99, I mean, why? And then some riders would say, yes, I check online. Well, I tell you, Philip, right now, when I'm at home, when I'm not on the road, quite often I'm at home, I'm a member of FEI TV, of course, I've subscribed, and I watch everything I can. And it's fantastic to be able in my own home to see the world competing.
And do you do the job of ringmaster? Is that the correct?
Yeah, I would call it ringmaster, starter ringmaster, that's correct, yes.
Do you do that in any other sport, or was it just any other shows?
Any other
No, it was more sport, obviously the shows, but anything outside horses, or is it just horses that you do?
No, not just horses I do, but I'm also a little bit involved in the mixed martial arts, UFC, the cage fighting, which is the fastest growing sport in the world.
When you say you're involved, what does that mean?
Well, it means it's a small world. We have Will Christensen, a competitor in Canada, and his brother is working for the UFC. So I know him very well. I met through the fights, and being dressed differently, I always dress in bright yellow when I go to those events. Somehow, I don't know, the camera picked me up. I do interviews, just like here with Joe Rogan, who is their announcer. He's a comedian. And they picked me out somehow. The crowd said, I want this guy forward, and we did a little interview, and then it just picked up. So when I go now, I know Dana White, the president. When he sees me, you see him. I know this, the stuntman, the cutman that fixes the faces of those athletes is the same one that also works with the Klitschko brothers.
Oh, okay.
So I was fortunate enough to meet both Klitschkos over the years, and also meet their good friend and cutman who really saves, just like a veterinarian for us, or, or a blacksmith.
Yeah. Of course, we must talk about your outfits. No one knows what's going to come out next.
And that includes me, yes. Thank you. That's the beauty.
So how did that start? I mean, and do you get these made yourselves? Tell us about how what your wardrobe is like.
It started many, many, many years ago, maybe 28 years ago, with a pink tropical helmet that I saw somewhere in Hawaii while I was on vacation. And we always used to go with the Southern family to Hawaii. Our kids and their grandkids and kids were very, very good friends. And I saw a pink tropical helmet, which I just said, oh, that's nice, that's different. Nobody's going to wear, nobody wears pink. And I put it on at Spruce Meadows, and the riders just started laughing. And so I said, wait a minute, there's something here. If you can give some smiles to the riders before they go in the ring, some positive moments, I'm sure it's going to help them with their competition. So then it started, and of course now it's out of hand. The thing is, for the European Championships, we designed a special code. As you can imagine, it has to be because of the rights of sponsor rights and the federations and the Department of Immigration, the Department of Deportation, which is always, wait a minute. Anyway, so we designed something. We got the original colors from Normandy, and Animo was kind enough to design this code for me, and it was approved. And I just went to Italy on Tuesday last week, and I picked it up, and I'm very surprised.
So you have a new one made for or different individual competitions?
For championships, yes. They made one for the Europeans for me in Herning last year, a very special one as well. And this then we designed. Alberto's a good friend, the owner, and he says, I want to bring a bit more color to the ingate, to the sport.
As a horse lover yourself, and obviously you love equestrian sport as well, of course you've got the best seat in the house for most performances. That must also be a huge pleasure for you.
I do. When I have time to see the competition, I do. Sometimes, like in the dressage, I did not see much, because what I like to do there, especially when it comes to the last 15 yesterday, and I walk all the way, I bring a rider down, and then I walk all the way to the warm-ups, even to the covered arena, to be sure that everybody knows that they are exactly on time in the ring. And I give them a countdown. We leave from there, now we get 2 minutes, and now when we walked on the ramp, 1 minute 45 seconds, 1 minute 45, 8 and 15 seconds. So I'm doing lots of walking, it doesn't hurt if you eat a lot, but I like to do in France. So I don't see all that much, but of course, just to be with the athletes and feel the atmosphere, get the energy, very rewarding.
And I've also noticed your nails.
Well, those nails, they are just 15 minutes old. I had some colorful ones that the daughter of Alberto, Giulia, from Animo, painted for me. And why did she do this? Because when I came to Europe last week, Monday, I flew to Paris, and then I went to Deauville. I'm involved in a charity that's also dear to my heart. Everybody that's watching here is very lucky. We are very lucky with what we have in life. So many years ago, I joined Just for International. So I flew Paris, went to Deauville for a charity, Noir de Amazon, and I have a Just World. I'm actually mascot, believe it or not. I have a Just World coat also made by Animo, beautiful, colorful, and then I said, wait a minute. There's a dress code. Everybody dresses white, and everybody had something orange. And a colleague announcer, she had orange fingernails. I said, wait a minute, I can fit in. So she painted my nails, and that's how it started.
Great. Well, I know you've got another busy week ahead. Of course, we've seen the dressage come and go.
Yes.
I wish you all the very best. I wish you a very calm role over the next 7 days. And thank you very much indeed for joining us, Pedro. But I don't want to be outdone. So before you go, I thought I'd better just join you. So I'll just say goodbye and thank you very much indeed.
Thank you, my assistant. Fantastic.
Okay.